it's Laura Laws, and today's video is going to be all about Genie Plus with little ones. If that is something you want to check out, then stay tuned. We just got back from our early July trip to Disney World. It was my daughter Landon's 10th trip to Disney World from Pennsylvania. I will put a link below to some of the trips and then her 10th trip playlist below if you want to check that out. A little bit about our family and how we tour the parks now. She does not nap. She stopped that actually on our August Disney trip of last year when she was just over 3 years old. So we kind of sleep in a little and like to go to the parks late, like 9:30, 10:30, and then stay there a little later, like between 8 and 9, or a little bit later if there's fireworks. We kind of cater our day around her and what she wants to do. We do a lot of sit-down meals for dining as well. Around 3.5 years old, she started having a lot of fears, so she is not a fan of dark rides and big rides right now, which is kind of surprising because when she was 2 years old, she rode like the Barnstormers, Haunted Mansion, things like that. I just don't think the fear and the awareness is there. So that is something that's been different this year, that we haven't been able to ride as many rides. And like I said, we do cater the day around her a lot. So my husband and I usually just do one big ride during a park day where we split up, because it can be very lonely to be waiting in those lines, and then you go off on your own, and then so you're like sometimes over an hour away from each other in the park. So we usually just keep that to one ride a day since we have been so many times. So when I booked the trip in spring, the way that Genie Plus worked was you would book Genie Plus for the length of stay of your trip. So that's how we did it. The beginning of June, they changed that. So you now have to book it like for each day. So I think this is weird. Like, it's kind of annoying you have to get up at 7 a.m. to book it, but yeah, so they changed it where you have to book it at midnight is the earliest you can book it the day before. So you have to make sure to definitely book it by 7 a.m. Book Genie Plus for that day. But it is kind of nice because that way you can just book one park if you want, 2 parks, maybe skip other parks with Genie Plus. But then, like, what are you gonna do? Stay up till midnight, get Genie Plus? I guess right now I haven't heard of anything where Genie Plus gets sold out. And then you have to wake up at 6:30, like, to get your Lightning lanes. Like, Disney just doesn't want you to sleep or something, I'm not sure. I do think it's a bummer that you can't pre-order it. But again, I haven't done that system, and my friend Annie Stores on YouTube, she is from the UK and she does vlogs. I'll put a link below, you can check her out. I asked if you guys had any questions, so she did send me a question. I'm too lazy to research, but want to buy for one day next trip. Detail appreciated. Thanks, Annie. So yeah, I think that answers your question. It's available the midnight before. You just have to book it for that day. And I'll go into a little bit later about like the strategy with that. I also do want to say I did use Genie Plus with the disability service. We went with my sister-in-law who uses DAS, the disability service, and it is integrated into the Genie Plus service, but it's a totally different sort of system. And I think I talked about it in that video. And it's different strategies as well. So this was really my first time using it. I'll give you a quick overview of Genie Plus if you're new to it. So there's a free service, Genie, that is in the app. So you want to go to your Disney World app and you can check that out. Then there is the paid service. So that is $15 per day per person. So for our family of 3, we paid $45 per day, but what that gets you access to is all of the Lightning lanes that are included in each park, except for the individual Lightning lane, and that is the 3rd. I wish they had named it something different. So there's Lightning lanes, and which is included in the Genie Plus $15 a day, and then there's individual Lightning lanes. So those are the most popular attractions. There used to be 2 in each park, and they changed it recently to 1 in each park. And they range in price from $10 to $15, and it varies through peak times of the year and slow times of the year. We actually never used the individual Lightning lane, the paid rides, but in Magic Kingdom it is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. In Epcot it is Cosmic Rewind, the best ride ever. In Hollywood Studios, Rise of the Resistance, second best ride ever. And then in Animal Kingdom, it is Flight of Passage, which I was very surprised about because that is kind of like an older ride now. So those are the 4 paid Lightning lanes for each of the parks. Now, for the individual Lightning lanes, you don't need Genie Plus to buy those. So you could just purchase those through the app without purchasing the Genie Plus. And then the other thing with individual Lightning lane is that you have to be staying on property to book those at 7 a.m. If not, you have to wait until the park opening to book the individual Lightning lanes. There are 2 other aspects to Genie Plus, photo lenses and audio tails. I played with the photo lens before we left after I purchased Genie Plus. They were cool. The audio tails, it's just with a 4-year-old. Those are not things most likely that you're gonna mess around with in the parks when you're going commando and have a 4-year-old to take care of. So I didn't use those at all. Some tips just before you go on your trip. You want to set up your app, log in. You want to make sure a credit card is linked for sure in your app. You have to have a ticket and park reservation for each day before you book Genie Plus, so make sure you have that. If you're going to be booking for the whole party, make sure you've linked all the parties and they have all of their tickets and park reservations as well. And then you have to go into Genie and put in your preferences. So if you like characters or you like thrill ride, make sure you put that in so Genie can make recommendations for your party and for your day at the park. Okay, it's game day, your first time using Genie Plus. Learn from me, don't do what I did because I fiddled around for 15 minutes and could not figure out how to book my first Lightning lane at Magic Kingdom. No more sleeping in at Disney World. Well, unless you are not the planner or the Genie Plus coordinator, which was definitely my job. So set your alarm before 7 a.m., 10 minutes, go to the bathroom, grab a water, and get your Lightning lanes. And the first part I want to tell you to do, which is the mistake that cost me 15 minutes, is you go to the tip board. I don't understand what the My Day tab is. It's very confusing. Always go to the tip board and the suggestions for the Lightning lanes will all be there. This part's a little confusing, but the 7 a.m. is your first Lightning lane, and then when can you book another one? Let me look at my notes to make sure I get this right. After you use your first Lightning lane or 2 hours after you booked your first Lightning lane, there's one exception, and that is park opening. So you book your first Lightning lane at 7 a.m., say the park opens at 9 a.m., that would be the 2 hours. Well, no, the exception is that you have to wait 2 hours from park opening or when you use your Lightning lane. So say you book Peter Pan at Magic Kingdom, you're there at rope drop, you ride Peter Pan at 9, once you tap in, you can book another Lightning lane. If Peter Pan, like us, was later in the day, then you have to wait until 11 a.m. to book your next Lightning lane. Very confusing. So my best tip to you is go to your tip board and it'll tell you when you can book your next Lightning lane. Set your alarm on your phone. Just do that. After you tap in to a ride, go in, check your tip board, see when you can book your next Lightning lane, set an alarm on your phone. To me, that is the best way to do it, the easy way to do it. You don't need a cheat sheet for Lightning lanes and Genie Plus, and the alarm will go off, and just make sure it's not like during a show that the alarm goes off, so have your phone on like airplane mode or something. feel like I need to plus up my outfit a little bit. Let's talk about my thoughts and my experience with Genie Plus. I loved it. Was not a fan of spending an extra $45 a day. However, I think it was totally worth it. You know, like I said, over top of a very expensive park ticket to pay $45. It was a hard pill to swallow, but I did. I knew we had to do it and I wanted to try it out. My recommendation is if it's in your budget, you should do it. And especially with little ones who are not good at waiting in lines at all. It's amazing. You fly through the lines. I think, so our first day in July was Magic Kingdom was our park day. We did 10 attractions. And then we were done at 4 o'clock with Lightning lanes. I didn't book anymore. Granted, we did have like a Tony's dinner to go to, and then I wanted to do shopping and castle pictures, and we had a dessert party booked. You can check out my review of that in my Magic Kingdom vlog. But we got so much done, and the Epcot day was also like that. I think we finished with Lightning lanes at like 2 o'clock at Epcot. And then we headed over to World Showcase to go around the world, have drinks, wait for the fireworks, did the China movie, rode the boat ride twice, the Mexican boat ride twice, enjoyed the shopping. It was our first time as a family, like being able to go in the shops without having to put the mask on. Landed named the troll in Norway. So yeah, we finished with both of those parks really early, kind of Animal Kingdom too, which I'll talk about later if it's worth it. I think it is a great service, especially with little ones, but that being said, I feel like the app needs improvement in the naming. I don't think Lightning lanes and individual Lightning lanes and Genie Plus is sort of the best marketing and packaging of that, and I feel like the app isn't great. It shouldn't, I mean, I'm like a Disney Pro and I've used their app forever. It shouldn't take me 15 minutes to figure it out. It should be pretty intuitive to be able to go in, book your Lightning lanes, be able to buy individual Lightning lanes, get into Guardians of the Galaxy queue, a virtual queue, it should all be right there. So I hope that they do a lot of improvement to make it more intuitive on their app. Something else that was hard for me to find in the app was how to cancel it. A lot of the times the availability for the Lightning lanes were too early for us, and I wanted to book it later in the day. So there's like 3 dots in the upper right, and then you can cancel it or modify it, I think. It was a clumsy way of doing it. So I wish they would improve on that as well. Some of the tips I have, if you have a 4-year-old, I found that with my daughter, giving her 2 choices sometimes throughout the day for her to pick the rides helped her to feel in control, because sometimes I was just like booking things and she would go, I don't want to go on that ride, just to be sort of rare. So I would give her the option and let her choose what ride she wanted to ride. So that's like a 4-year-old tip. So let's talk about, do you need to do Genie Plus for every park? Magic Kingdom, yes. Hollywood Studios, yes-ish. If you have little ones, there's not a lot for them to do there. So we didn't do Hollywood Studios this trip. We did not use Genie Plus at Hollywood Studios, but I just find that there's not a lot for us to do at Hollywood Studios with a little one, with a 4-year-old. So I'm not even sure we probably would, but it's maybe something could skip, especially if it was a slower time of the year. Does that even exist at Disney anymore? I don't know. Animal Kingdom and Epcot are the 2 maybes. Take a look at it. Take a look at how you tour. Take a look at the times, the wait times, and see if that is something that you would want to pay for. And the other thing is, if it is a slow time, you could decide at the park if you want to book Genie Plus if that's something you want to use. It's hot, the kids are cranky, you want to knock out some rides. Something I was thinking about with little ones, if you're doing a longer trip or you're definitely hitting up Magic Kingdom for 2 days, which is something I want to do on our next trip, then you could book Genie Plus for 1 day and then not use it another day. And then you want to hit all the big, most popular rides that day when you have Genie Plus, and sleep in, because I feel like that's one thing that's really nice too. You don't have to rope drop when you have Genie Plus, and you can book the rides and sort of stack them early or later in the afternoon. So we would arrive around 10 to the parks usually and not have to worry about wait times. Then on the second day at Magic Kingdom where you don't have Genie Plus, you can ride the least popular rides. You could, if you wanted to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you could book the individual Lightning Lane without having Genie Plus. You can go shopping, you can do all the snacks, you can do the hubgrass, you can take in the wonderful environment and ambiance of Disney, and you could do the fireworks and camp out for fireworks with snacks. So that is one way to save money with Genie Plus. And then another one would be going in a slower time of the year and not getting it for Animal Kingdom and Epcot, but I would definitely get it for Magic Kingdom. So at that 7 a.m. when you are booking your first Lightning Lane, you want to prioritize the most popular. So they're probably going to be different for each family depending on what your kids like, if you have kids, what you want to do. So for us, the ones that we prioritized were Peter Pan, which I'm so surprised. Like, Peter Pan's a cute ride, and it's my daughter loves Peter Pan, so it is a must-do for us. But it's just, I can't believe the wait time is so long for that. So Peter Pan, Epcot would be Remy, Animal Kingdom would be Safari. And then Hollywood Studios, we didn't use it, but it would be Runaway, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I love that ride. Like I said, my husband and I will do one big ride per day in the parks where we split up. That Landon can't ride it. So this trip, we used a Lightning Lane for Pirates in Magic Kingdom. We did Soarin' in Epcot, and we actually we did 2 big rides where we separated. Soarin' was in the beginning, and I took her to get a snack while Phil rode it, and then he took her on Nemo while I rode Soarin'. And then we did Cosmic Rewind after lunch, and right next to that is this awesome playground. So he took her to the playground while I rode it, and I actually waited in line. And then we did a rider switch. I still call it child swap. And then that way he didn't have to wait in line. And then I took her and got a delicious, chose a margarita and went into the Mexican pavilion, and he met us there. And then we did, Everest Lightning Lane at Animal Kingdom. And then if we were to do Hollywood Studios, we'd probably do Rock and Roller Coaster. But we would probably most likely pay for the individual Lightning Lane to ride Rise of the Resistance, because we love that ride so much. Character meet and greets are included in the Lightning Lanes. So we found ourselves at the middle of the day or the end of the day in Magic Kingdom when we didn't have any other rides we wanted to ride. That's when I would book kind of waste Lightning Lanes on character meet and greets, and we did that I think in every park, the 3 parks this time. My daughter's so into characters, so that's really nice that we don't have to wait long for the characters and are able to use the Lightning Lanes for the little ones for that. I would not recommend using the Lightning Lanes for sit-down shows unless you've used all your Lightning Lanes you want to use for rides. I just don't think it's a good use of Lightning Lanes. Shows are really good around 12 to 3, especially in the summer when it gets really hot. You can get some air conditioning, you can get a break, and there's usually a gap, in your Lightning Lanes because you've done everything in the morning and then things are filling up, and then you end up with Lightning Lanes in the late afternoon or evening. So shows are good to fill that time up as well. When you go to book your Lightning lane and it gives you the time, it can jump a lot when you go to confirm it. So it's not, the time is not reserved. So when at 7 a.m. when I booked Remy, it said like, I don't know, Remy at 11 a.m. and I pressed on it. And then when I went to go confirm it, it was like 5 p.m. So just know, especially in that 7 a.m. first Lightning lane, that I can do that, I can jump. Another question I had on Instagram was strategies for Genie Plus when we have to take a nap back at the resort for a 2-year-old. Go in the morning, stack your Lightning lanes. So what that means is you book your 7 a.m. and then as soon as you can get the next one, you book the next one, and then eventually you'll start seeing the wait times getting later and later. So you just want to stack them for later. So you want to pick the most popular ones, like the ones I went over, and then you'll get a later return time. So while she's napping every 2 hours, you can just book them, and put them for the late afternoon or evening, and then you can go back to the parks and you probably won't even have time to go potty. You're gonna have so many rides to ride. So that would be my strategy to do that. If you really want to go commando, then you and your kid, your 2-year-old, is napping still. They probably are waking up early. You could rope drop, knock out some rides, stack your as much as you can in the morning, and then start stacking them for the late. Interesting to see the future of Genie Plus and what's going to happen. Are they going to increase the prices? Will they start selling out at the parks? Like you are not even able to purchase it because the parks are getting so busy. You know, it's just supply and demand, and there's so much demand for Disney vacations right now. And I feel like there's 2 things that could stop that. Like we could be having an inflated demand right now because people have, like there's pent up demand from not vacationing for 2 years. So we could be seeing all of these sort of record crowds and everything that may just die down naturally and people don't go back for a while. Doubt it. You know, a recession could happen, sadly, for our country, and then not as many people can go, or I mean, pricing has gone up a lot and they're just priced out of, sadly, a Disney vacation. So I don't know. Do you think prices will go up, Lightning lane will go up, Genie Plus charging will go up? I think if they can get away with it, they're gonna try it. So. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a like if it helped you at all and helps out my channel. Be sure to subscribe. You can turn on the bell notifications if you want to be alerted. I'm gonna be doing some more Disney kind of overview and planning videos now that I'm home and we just finished a trip. And if you haven't checked it out, look below and you can check out the playlist from our last trip or any of our other Disney vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.